Battlefront is an incredible draw here. Unfortunately, well, I guess double shelter gives us exactly enough. And we swing for 8. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Zenity here again. Today, I wanted to take a look at this Orzhov Skeletons Enchantments list. This is a list that a YouTuber, Mythic Mike, put together, I believe, over the last like 5, 6, 7 months or so. He's been working on it, and it has been doing really well for him as well as some other people. So I wanted to go ahead and give it a try. Last week, we did the mono black Sephiroth kind of skeletons package. So here I wanted to take a look at that, add in the white so we can play things like United Battlefront, which is going to put 2 non-land permanents that cost 3 or less onto the battlefield. But other than that, we've got Corpses of the Lost again, Stash Skeleton, Forsaken Miner, Nowhere to Run, and Seam Rip as our removal, as well as Sheltered by Ghosts. We've got a Most Helpful Weaver, which is just a great 2-drop enchantment. And then, of course, the Optimistic Scavenger that wants you to be playing enchantments, right? So a lot of enchantments in this deck. Super aggressive deck. Lots of potential for explosive plays, just burning down really fast. Land base, we've just running a couple of the Soulstone Sanctuaries along with some starting towns, 4 concealed courtyards to make sure our turn 1 plays are consistent. So nothing too crazy. Don't want to go too in depth. You can find a deck list down in the description if you want to go ahead and take a look at it for yourself. But we are going to go ahead and jump into our games. So we will go ahead and see you guys in game 1. Thanks for watching, and see you there. Queuing up here for game 1, we've got Brown Bears Bowl. Let's see. So we've got turn 1 Miner with a Sheltered by Ghost or a Case on turn 2 and Nowhere to Run as well. This looks pretty solid. Go ahead and keep. Play out our Miner. Turn 1 Kellen. So I think we just go ahead and we shelter here. Get rid of the Kellen, gain some life. We've got removal and Case to play next turn. All right, let's keep that Nowhere to Run available. We're just going to go ahead and swing for 3 more damage here. Hoping to catch them off here, but they could pump up again. Okay, we get to lower the damage here a little bit. So we're taking 6. Let's go ahead and play the Sanctuary. This looks like just an aggressive Izzet deck here. Take 7. All right, we're going to play out our Case. Going to get in for our damage. And we are going to Nowhere to Run with a Slick Shot. And they go ahead and give up. Very nice. Fortunately, we drew that removal. That was really, really helpful. Also having that Nowhere to Run to reduce the damage we took on that turn by 3 made us take 6 instead of 9. Also, the life gain from Sheltered really, really coming in clutch there. So they're just trying to go for a super aggressive kind of spell slingery type deck. We were able to come out on top there. Very good. Awesome. That was game 1. And see you guys in game 2. All right, game 2 up against S460. Another pretty solid starting hand here. We'll be able to go Scavenger into either Case, Wanted, or Removal. So looking pretty solid. Lay out our Scavenger here. Looks like we're up against Artifacts. Can be a tough matchup for this deck. Get our Godless Shrine out. Let's play our Helpful Weaver. Dauntless Scrapbot. All right, we're just going to play out of corpses. Full swing. Likely they have a Pinnacle, but a Pinnacle in the face of multiple corpses can be a little rough for them. There's the Pinnacle, since they always seem to have it. Corpses number 2. We will go ahead and return one of these, just in case we don't draw a land next turn. We want to be able to just play it and keep making our skeletons with haste. They got the Battlefront, Simulacrum, and Authority. Puts a little halt on our haste guys here. But that's all right. We'll just go ahead and play out the other corpses, give them 1 life, but then be able to swing here for 4. Land would have been nice for Battlefront. Snare on a skeleton. All right, we're going to play our Battlefront here. Let's grab Seam Rip and Shelter. Seam Rip's going to grab the Authority. Shelter's going to grab the token. Swinging for 5. Repurposing Bay. They sack the Snare. Oh, they sack the Clayfire Bricks. Grab another Pinnacle. So Case here makes a 4 damage creature. That has Menace. We can get them to 1. Interesting. We'll play out the Weaver as well. But here they can Repurposing Bay their Cage or the Snare to get the Fire Crystal. Hey. Yeah, looks like we probably lose here. They can sack for the Fire Crystal, get another 3/9/9. Although that doesn't kill us immediately. Oh, it's 2 of them. Yeah, we are dead. Nice. Yeah, that's usually how this matchup goes. Tends to be we just don't quite get enough damage because they have the pinnacles. This guy happened to have 2, and then the fire crystal just ends up ending the game. So we're just not quite a fast enough clock to keep up with artifacts most of the time. Pretty much every time you go up against them, they have the pinnacle, at least in my experience. So a loss there, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and go on to game 3. All right. Game 3 up against Kevster. One mana not enough. We're going to have to mulligan here. Only black mana also not enough. Gonna have to mulligan again. So a little bit better. So we're going to put a land back and put a sheltered back. That lets us play the miner. Veteran Survivor. We'll play the Sheltered by Ghosts. Grab him. Swing. Scavenger with Ethereal Armor. Alright, drawing lands here is not what we wanted. But it is the world we're living in. Alright, we go ahead and take 3. Put a counter on the miner here. We'll just swing out here. Gain some life. Let's play out our second Weaver. And play out our land. And just kind of hope this is enough. We do get double strike next turn. Plus a 1/1 counter. He's got his Sheltered by Ghosts. Gets our miner. Gets to swing 4/6. So we'll put a counter here. And give the other one double strike. Swing. Play our case. And unfortunately, I think we are just a little too slow here. Fortunately, they had the answer to what we were doing, and we've not drawn quite well enough to be able to keep up. Had the mulligan twice at the beginning due to lands, so mono white obviously not struggling quite as much as we were on the lands. Another scavenger. Ethereal Armor. Yep, double counters. And not much we can really do about that. Can't really even attack because the scavenger also has first strike, and we're just drawing lands. Unfortunate, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Go to attackers. Can't block. Yep, Seam Rip. Gonna get rid of our blocker. And we are dead. Could activate the Sanctuary, but it's going to be tapped because our land came in tapped, unfortunately. Yeah, just draw's not really lining up there. The 2 mulligans really is what's kind of set us behind. So another loss there to, in my opinion, it was the shuffler that time. But opponent also had a solid start. So game 3, a loss, but we will move on. See you guys in game 4. Next game, Kagan. Not too bad of a start here. Scavenger into Case, into Corpses of the Lost. Looks pretty good. Maybe play the, yeah, we'll play the Scavenger. Play the Case here. Negate on the Case. And we'll get in for 1. Play out a Corpses. And they have to counter for that as well. Get in for 1 again. Demonic Pact. So we'll play out our Corpses. And a Miner. Get in for 8. They do 4 to the Scavenger. Opponent casts a Stock Up. Okay, kills our token. We'll play out another Miner here. Doesn't. Luckily, neither of these cards matter against them. Maybe could have played one out just to have it out, but doesn't really matter. Battlefront is an incredible draw here. Unfortunately, well, I guess double shelter gives us exactly enough. And we swing for 8. All right. Not the best Battlefront, but it did actually give us the 2 points of damage we needed. So ended up pulling a victory there against, looked like Dimir Control. Very nice. All right, welcome to the wrap-up. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with this deck. I think it's extremely powerful. I think there's a lot of potential with this deck, especially if something like a turn 1 Scavenger or Miner into a 2-drop. You can just kind of keep curving out 1, 2, 3. It's got a lot of removal for some of the best cards in the format right now. Things like Badger Mole or Oberoid, or even Authority of the Consuls we were taking with Seam Rip, things like that. I think if you draw Battlefront, the deck sort of really explodes and goes crazy. But there's a chance where you just end up drawing a bunch of removal against a control deck, and that doesn't really work out. Or if you're up against artifacts and you play out your early creatures which you kind of need to do. They just play the 3-drop artifact that exiles everything, and suddenly you're left with no board state, and they're able to repurposing Bay into another synthesizer, make a bunch of tokens, sack everything, get the fire crystal, and then just kind of blow you out of the water. Artifact seems to be one of this deck's worst matchups. One of the best matchups seems to be other aggro decks, like mono white. This deck does very well against because of nowhere to run, as well as just being able to apply pressure and gain some life with Sheltered by Ghosts and things like that, getting a little bit more value from United Battlefront than a mono white deck would out of their early cards. Yeah, overall the deck is super fun to play. So casting a United Battlefront is always one of my favorite things to do in Standard right now. So love playing this deck. Yeah, really fun. Had a great time with it. Let me know what you guys think, if there's any changes you would make to this deck, or if you've played against this deck, how you feel about it, or if you're playing as this deck, how it's doing for you. Would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you in the next video.